students, welcome to our science class. We are on the chapter nervous system. In the last class we started this chapter and discussed about brain. Today we want to study the further topics and we first started about nervous system. And in this topic we said that for the nervous system it includes the parts 3. Brain, spinal cord and nerves. These are the parts that included in nervous system, and we already explained and studied about the brain. Now we want to study the spinal cord and nerves. So we are going to discuss first about spinal cord. We already know this term spinal cord. We discussed it in the last chapter. So what is this spinal cord? Spinal cord. The spinal cord is a bundle of nerves. It is bundle of nerves. Bundle means a group. So the spinal cord is a bundle of nerves, or it is a thick bundle of nerves, which means that we have a group of nerves that are being together. That is this spinal cord. And where this spinal cord is connected, you can see here a diagram. This yellow color is what? The spinal cord. So the spinal cord is connected to the bottom of our brain or back side of our brain. So we can say the spinal cord connected to back of brain and where it extended to, and it will extend to the lower end of our backbone. It is extended to lower end of backbone. Here you can see that this is the spinal cord. That is the yellow color you can see here is the spinal cord. And here it is starting from our brain and it is the ending till our backbone. That means it is continuing to our lower part of our backbone. This total is what? The backbone. So this is the location of our spinal cord. So what is the spinal cord? Spinal cord is a thick bundle of nerves and it connects to the back side of our brain and extended to lower end of our backbone. This is the diagram and you can see a neat diagram in your textbook page number 72. We have a diagram, and when we study about the brain, we talk about that it is having number of protective layers. What is this? Who is protecting this spinal cord? What is the thing protecting the spinal cord is that the vertebral column. So we can say the spinal cord is there inside this vertebral column. Spinal cord is inside the vertebral column. Vertebral column. That means this vertebral column means number of bones it is joined together. We already studied. And inside this column, vertebral column, this spinal cord is there. And so we can say this vertebral column is a type of protective shield, or it is a type of bone which protects the spinal cord. And you want to study these three terms. No need of study how to draw this. So this yellow part is spinal cord. This is what the bones present beside this spinal cord is vertebral column, and you can see here very tiny nerves that is coming from our backbone. And that veins are spinal nerves. That is spinal nerves. Spinal nerves. So this is all about our spinal cord. So in this area you want to focus on what is spinal cord. We can say it is a thick bundle of nerves that connect the brain with all parts. What is the spinal cord doing? The spinal cord is doing that it is connecting our brain, to all parts of our body. That means we already said that the brain is controlling all the organs and all the parts in our body. That means we can control our fingers, that is at our legs. And how these fingers and the brain is connecting? They are actually connected with nerves, and also it have a role with this spinal cord. So we can say the spinal cord is thick bundle of nerves that connect the brain with all parts of our body. That is the definition for spinal cord. You have to study this. Next, we said about where it is located, and then we discussed about how it is protected. That is the thing we discussed here. Now we are going to discuss about nerves. Next is nerves. You are already familiar with this term, nerves. Now the question is, what is this nerves? How we can define this? That we are going to deal. The nerves are made of special cells. These nerves are made of special cells, and they are called neurons. Neurons or nerve cells. So for these nerves, the first point is that these nerves are made of special cells, and that cell is named neurons or nerve cells. Neurons or nerve cells. For these neurons, it have mainly two parts. We are talking about these neurons. So for these neurons, it is having mainly two parts, and that is cyton and axon. Cyton and axon. You can see here a diagram and a neat diagram in your textbook itself, and it is in the page number 72. And this is the structure of what? Our neuron. This is the structure of neuron, and actually this is the cell of our nerve. It have mainly two parts, we already said, and that is cyton. This is what? Cyton. And you can see here a part, and that is called axon. Cyton and axon. So you want to study these parts when you want to identify, when you see this diagram. No need of how to draw this now. Just study the names, cyton and axon. That is about this neuron. Now the question is, what is this nerves contains? Actually, in the nerves, it includes number of fibers, large number of fibers. In the nerves, it contains large number of fibers. So actually, when we are talking about a nerve, it is having thousands of fibers are present. So these fibers are together combined to be for a nerve. So we can say each nerve is composed of bundle of fibers. That is, each nerve is consisting of bundle of fibers, which means it contains large number of fibers. That is this bundle of fibers. The next point is that what is this nerves doing? That is the main question. What is this nerves doing? The nerves actually doing that? It connects our brain to all parts of our body. For example, I am just putting here a chalk. So, I want to take this chalk. How we can take this? How my hand is getting moved to top? The thing actually is that in my hands it is having number of nerves. So, this nerve is giving first what? An instruction from brain to our hand. That means our brain give all the control and instructions, but our brain is situated at our head. But our all organs are moving with the instructions of our brain, and that impulse or that instructions or messages are traveling through our nerves. That is this nerves doing. So we can say in our body it have a large network of nerves. That means not only one nerve or two nerves. Our body contains large number of nerves, and we can call it as network of nerves. We already know the term network. We are using it with the mobile network. That is actually means like the way in our body it is having a network of nerves, which means we have large number of nerves that is connected, interconnected in our body. So we can say these nerves are there in our body like a network system. Network. So body have a network of nerves, and this network is doing what? They are carrying messages. They are carrying messages from brain to organs, different organs. Not we are talking about a single organ, all the organs. They are carrying message from brain to all the organs, and also the message from the organs to our brain. That is the thing these nerves are doing. That is the function of the nerves. Now we want to study different types of nerves. There are 3 types of nerves are there in our human body. So the next topic is types of nerves. Types of nerves. There are 3 types of nerves, and the first one is sensory nerve. Sensory nerve. The second one is motor nerve. Motor nerve. And the third one is mixed nerve. Or we can always say it nerves. No problem. So there are 3 types of nerves, and the first one is sensory nerve, the second one is motor nerve, and the third one is mixed nerve. There are 3 types, and you want to remember these names: sensory nerve, motor nerve, and mixed nerve. Now we want to study in detail what is this sensory nerve, what is this motor nerve, and what is this mixed nerve. Now we want to do that. Sensory nerve. This sensory nerve is also called afferent nerve. Afferent nerve. The sensory nerve is also called afferent nerve. And here, what is this sensory nerve doing? The sensory nerve is carrying message from sense organ, carrying message from sense organ to brain and spinal cord. We already said that the spinal cord also having certain role in controlling our body. So this sensory nerve is doing that. It is giving message from sensory organ to, that is, to our brain. It is giving the message from sense organs. Which are our sense organs? There are 5 sense organs and we are going to study it in detail in our next classes. So we will discuss it there. Now you want to study that the sensory nerves bring or send the message from sense organs to brain and spinal cord. So remember this sensory and sense organ. Just connect it and remember. So the sensory nerve that send the message from sense organ to brain and spinal cord. This is about this sensory nerve. Now we want to study the next type of nerve and it is motor nerve. Motor nerve. This motor nerve is also called efferent nerve. Efferent nerve. Don't confuse this with afferent nerve. We studied in the first section that is afferent. A-F-F-E-R-E-N-T. Afferent nerve for the sensory nerve. For this motor nerve we are writing efferent. E-F-F-E-R-E-N-T. Efferent nerve. So this motor nerve is also called efferent nerve. Now the question is, what is this motor nerve doing? This motor nerve is doing that carrying message from brain and spinal cord to brain and spinal cord to all body parts. All body parts. That means in this motor nerve they are sending message from brain to all other body parts or all other body organs. So that is the motor nerve doing. And what about the sensory nerve? It is doing that they are collecting from sensory organ or sense organ to brain. That is the difference here. The first is brain. The instructions or the message from brain is given to body parts. That is about motor nerve. Now we want to study about the third type and it is mixed nerve. Mixed nerve. Mixed nerve. The thing is that in the mixed nerve it carry message from brain. It carry message from brain. Actually this message is what? The orders. It carry orders from brain to all parts. And also it is doing that it carry message to brain. It carry messages from brain to all parts and also it carry message to brain. So that is we already studied in the sensory and motor nerve. What is that? The transfer is only for one side, which means that in the first case we said it is to brain and second we said from brain. But here we can see that both is happening in this mixed. That is why we are calling it as mixed nerve. That means the request the message from brain, that is it accepts the message or orders from the brain and also what happens is that it collects the message to brain. Both is happening from and to in this mixed nerve and that's why we are calling it as mixed nerve. These all are about our nerves and the topic is over here. Now we want to study about reflex action. Reflex action. That is, the next topic is reflex action. Reflex action. In our body, all the functions or all the things are controlled by our brain. But with certain type of actions, they are very fast. They are very fast. For example, when I am holding my hand to this fire, what will happen? I will suddenly take off my hands. And who is giving instruction? Actually, it is not giving the instruction by our brain, and it is actually by the spinal cord. And such actions are called reflex actions. That means they are very fast actions that is given by our spinal cord, or that is controlled by the spinal cord. So we want to study this reflex action. First of all, we want to study the definition of this reflex action. What is this reflex action? We can say this action is one of the automatic reaction. That means I am not doing by thinking that. I am automatically putting out my hands. So we can say it is a automatic reaction. Automatic reaction. Now I am going to define this reflex action. It is an automatic reaction of the body to an event. It is the automatic reaction of body to an event. It is an automatic reaction of body to an event. For example, here the event is what? The fire. We are reacting or we are responding to this fire very fast and automatic, and that reaction is called reflex action. And this is, I already said, this is a fast action, very fast action. And who is doing this? I already mentioned that actually the part or the thing that involves in this reflex action is our spinal cord. Our spinal cord. You can see here a diagram that this is spinal cord. And when I am putting to this fire, the message, the message for pain is given from our fingertip to the spinal cord. Then suddenly the spinal cord will give message to our hand muscle to just take our hand back. So the thing that controls this reflex action is our spinal cord, not our brain. You want to note that it is not our brain, but the spinal cord is here acting for the reflex action. The next point is that this is also the diagram that is given to show what is this hand and spinal cord is doing. This is a section of our spinal cord. You can see a neat diagram in your textbook. This is spinal cord and this is the finger muscle. Finger muscle. That means from the finger muscle it is giving message to our spinal cord. And so this is our hand muscle. This is finger muscle and this is our hand muscle. That is the difference. So here that the pain or the message for pain is giving to the spinal cord. Then for taking off our hand, the spinal cord is giving certain type of instruction or message to our hand muscle. That is this diagram. So just observe that diagram in your textbook, and that is on the page number 73. So this is all about the reflex action. We explained that this reflex action is an automatic reaction that our body is reacting to a particular event, and it is very fast. Then we explained how this takes place in our body. Now we want to study some of the examples or some more examples with this. Which are they? This reflex action includes coughing, sneezing, blinking. Blinking means blinking of our blinking. Then watering of mouth. This watering is not the normal watering. When we see favorite food or delicious food, our mouth is getting watered. So that is the watering of mouth with tasty food. So these all are the examples for reflex action. These all are the examples for reflex action. That is coughing, sneezing, blinking, watering of mouth. These all are the examples for reflex action, and you want to remember these all are controlled by spinal cord. These all are controlled by spinal cord and not by brain. So this is all about today's topic. We discussed about what is spinal cord, then we discussed about nerves, and after that we discussed about reflex action. So you please want to read your textbook 3-4 times, and we will meet in the next class with the further topics. It's enough for today. Thank you.